Hey everybody, another build here, version 3 of the X-10. I went ahead and moved the tailpiece part up so that there's less of a break angle at the bridge, but I'm going to declare this a fail because it's got a pretty long moment arm from the saddles to the pivot pin, and also from the pivot pin down to the springs. And I think it'd be better if these were both closer to the pivot. So I actually came up with another version already. And basically the idea is that you have the body like flare out like this, make all this part, even this little stuff down in here where the pivot is, make all that as wide as the tailstock. You have the body even wider than the tailstock, and then you just glue two little blocks on. And the body would be here, the blocks would be up here, and your tailstock would be here, and your pin would be right there. And then your bridge would be right here, and then I guess this block would move up to here, and everything would be a lot closer. And so that's this design, basically. And then as you see, the body widens out, and then you just glue the two blocks on there, and then the whole tailpiece is just this wide and fits in there. That's what the tailpiece would look like. And it's basically, the bridge is about the same width. But then, also, like I said, I've been trying to figure out a way to do this for a long time, and way back when, back on like the X2 or the X2.5 or somewhere back around that range, I got this thing for making a hinge tailpiece kind of guitar. So I came up with a design that uses the hinge, and once again the body just flares out a little bit so it's as wide as the hinge down here, and then the hinge is already pretty much the same width as the tailpiece, and so you just add in the barrel on the hinge is only 5 millimeters across this way, so that's going to take up 5 millimeters of length between the bridge, which will still be on the tailpiece, and the body. So I'll take it off of the body side, and yeah, so basically you would have the body like that, and then you'd have the hinge mounted on top of the body, and then you have the hinge mounted to the underneath side of the tailpiece. Then you put the bridge on top of the tailpiece, and even though the bridge is, and then you put the block like underneath it, and that's the basic idea. So I think I'm just going to go ahead with version 5 with the hinge and just skip past the version 4 with the wider body and the two pins and the wood blocks. But I can always go back and do version 4, because that would be a less expensive way to do it. You don't have to buy a hinge, but a hinge is only, I don't know, I think in brass these might be like $3 or $4, but anyway, this one I'm going to declare it to be a fail, and it's time to move on to the next idea. But it's, I mean, in general it works, but what it was is, as I was getting it torqued down, it was turning out that I was going to need a whole lot of spring on it, and a whole lot of tension on the claw, and a whole lot of torquing down in order to get things stabilized. I got it pretty close, but it was, I didn't like it. So I figured that getting everything closer to the body itself and and getting the bridge down closer to the pivot point and getting the springs up closer to the pivot point, it might be better. So, and the hinge is probably going to make things even better. So, even though I've had real good luck with the pin type hinge so far, it's real smooth and everything, and you can get them pretty straight. So, but anyway, okay, until the next version, everybody have a good one.